erase ourselves in these chalk outlines.
Hey, welcome back to Analogman Podcast, where we do music reactions and just talk about that analog lifestyle. I'm gonna do another song from Ren Gill, and it's been a minute since I've done a Ren song, partially because I've been busy, but the other reason is that every time I listen to one of his songs, it takes me a little while to absorb what he was talking about, and sometimes it like hits me, and I'm like, "Whoa, man, I gotta go back and check this." Jenny and Screech was definitely one of those. You should check out my reaction to that. Even Hyren, the first song that I listened to, and maybe that wasn't a good song for a first song because I was just really outside of like what anybody could expect when they're just press and play on a music video. But I've come to realize just don't even try to expect anything and just embrace what's happening in front of you and try to absorb it. And yeah, I think sometimes going back and listening a few times or just giving it some time. I think Jenny and Screech was intended that way. And I had a lot of people that asked me to cover all of, kind of the trilogy because I think maybe some people will cover one and they don't come back to it. And so I understand why, but I also feel like having some time in between those might have been better for me to be able to absorb each one and kind of like, just be anticipating a little bit, if you know what I mean, the way it came out. But it's all good. It's been done. Now I'm going to do this one from Ren. It's called Chalk Outlines, and I guess it's a collaboration with somebody named Chinchilla. I don't know this artist either, so this will be the first time me hearing that person. But yeah, I've heard a few of Ren's songs, and I like his songs with the big push. That really is like my type of music. I am a reggae calypso type of person, as you can maybe tell from some of the backdrop on my screen here. But yeah, I'm really enjoying just Ren's journey and his own personal struggles. Uh, Not enjoying that he has them, but enjoying that he's sharing that with people because I think it does help people, and I understand what people are saying in the comment sections about that. So let's just get into the song. I owe it to Ren. It's been a minute. Also, I'll leave a link to the original in the description if you want to go to that. This is a live, so be interesting. I didn't. Yeah, I've seen him live before with the big push, but this will be a little bit different. Ren and Chinchilla chalk outlines. I used to have a chinchilla. Her name was Boo. Every time I watch a Ren video like this, it's like I'm about to go to the movies to watch like a suspense thriller. Oh, by the way, Ren is not just a musician. So if you're just listening to this first time on my podcast, Ren is a poet, he's a musician, he's an artist. Everything he's doing, there's a creative twist to it, and he is controlling a lot of what you're seeing there, almost all of it. And he tries to express what's on his mind internally. And it's one, his mind works in just a way that most people can't understand. But two, like to be able to take what you're thinking and display it through sound, through lyrics, and through visual is not easy to do. And that's what a real artist can do. So you might not like certain things about Ren, but you have to understand that this guy is a true artist. And I've come to realize that in a very short period of time. He's also a genius, by the way. Guys, I'm not going to stop it too much. I'm actually going to watch this all the way through. But I just want to say, I love how this is starting. You can just hear the echo. You can tell it's live. And it still seems like a motion picture. In the fact that this really cool way that he started this video. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I'm not gonna stop it again. We're gonna go through the whole thing and we'll talk at the end.
I'm still here in this bed that I crawled in. I hope that I'm someone else in the morning. So take this one, wash it down and you'll be fine. Then walk around in a floating chalk outline. So it goes, let it be. In the gallows, balanced on my toes so I can breathe. But little by little, bit by bit, I push it back down with a new habit. If not for long, just for a while, I'll bury myself with a great big smile. Oh my, oh my, we trace ourselves in these chalk outlines. Oh my, oh my, erase ourselves in these chalk outlines.
Sertraline and a sip of serotonin. Don't cry, 'cause there's a pill for everything. Take this one, wash it down and you'll be fine. The feeling goes and you draw a chalk outline.
So it goes, let it be. In the gallows, I'm balanced on my toes so I can breathe. But little by little, bit by bit, I push it back down with a new habit. If not for long, just for a while, I'll bury myself with a great big smile. Oh my, oh my, we trace ourselves in these chalk outlines. Oh my, erase ourselves. It's such a perfect day, take it just in case, take it just in case. I'm scared of being okay, 'cause all things change, all things change. It's such a perfect day, it's a beautiful shame, it's a beautiful shame. I'm scared of being okay, 'cause all things change. But little by little, bit by bit, I'll push it back down with a new habit. If not for long, just for a while, I'll bury myself with a great big smile. Oh my, we trace ourselves in these chalk outlines. Oh my,
Erase ourselves in these chalk outlines.
Ooh, that was heavy. He's always getting me with this heavy. Little teared up there. Try to hold it back. Well, first let's just say, Chinchilla, great, beautiful voice. What a great collab this was. I don't know a lot about her music or her background at all, or how close they are. I don't know much about Ren. I'm just saying that this is the first time I've seen her, and they just did a marvelous job of like timing and everything. Even the acoustics in that room, like it was kind of like a place familiar to some of us. You know, the kind of place that you go when you want to get away from people. Maybe like stairwell in a big building, or basement, or like a maintenance locker where you just need a little bit of a timeout. I think a lot of us have done that when we've been feeling down. You know what I mean? Like maybe even at work, just like I could get away from people for a second and be with my own thoughts. And this was deep on the thoughts. I was paying attention to the lyrics. There were subtitles down there. Didn't really need them, but I was just listening to it. And oh yeah, it's definitely about mental health. People that are struggling, especially people that rely on medication. And it sucks because sometimes medication does help things, but it can also just mask and suppress the very thing that is causing the problems. And if people don't actually work through that without the medication, it just becomes this cycle. And for some folks, it's really hard. And I think, well, I don't know. I just think that when they were talking about chalk outlines, I was thinking that maybe that's something like a shell. You put on your outer shell, which isn't really you, just looks like you, but really it's shallow, and like a chalk outline, you just get up and move, there's nothing in it. We put on these personas sometimes, and hide and mask the pain that we go through. Mental health, it's tough because there used to be a lot of, I guess, order for people in the world. And when the order was removed, it got very chaotic for people, and it still is chaotic for people. I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but I have my beliefs, and those beliefs give me order that help me in those type of situations. I'm a Christian. That's my belief. But everybody's different, and everybody has to kind of find some way to get order in their life. And unfortunately, some people, the only thing they find is medication because that's the only thing offered to them. There's obviously therapy, there's other ways, there's friends. It's not always easy though, because sometimes they're part of the problem. That's why I always put this Better Health link, this online Better Health link in my description, because they help with mental health. And the reason why I do that one is because you don't really have to interact with a person face to face. To me, I spent a lot of time overseas, in the military, and I saw a lot of things that people are not supposed to see. And I know it helps people like myself and other people who kind of ornery a little bit. We don't want to be too close proximity of people. We don't let people get close, and we just try to hold those things inside, which is not good either. Not good to hold that stuff in too long, because what happens is you hold it in, and then it explodes, or you do self-harm, or you use medication to suppress it. And I think that's what this was about, because it's just pushing it back down, because he was saying little by little push it back down. And that is a tough thing for a lot of people. And it doesn't have to even be like pills and stuff. It's like alcohol or other just activities, that people do. They kind of bring kind of self-sabotage to themselves on purpose, because they're way for them to deal with the pain that they have. And the alcohol can happen really quick. You can be a person who doesn't drink or never drink at all, and then something happens to you, and you just like look for a way to forget about what's going on, and you just drink that alcohol, and that allows you to sleep and rest and not think about it. And that feeling of not thinking about it will, get you through the day. And for some people, that's what they do, and that's why they're stuck in that cycle, because either they can't face it, or they don't want to face it, or they don't know how to face it. But you're not alone. There's people who have gone through it and have been able to face it and overcome it. And I think Ren is kind of one of those people who are trying to show the world that that is something that you can do. Say what you want, even if you don't like that one MMA fighter, Paddy Pimblett. Paddy, which he's a dang good fighter. He addressed the mental health on a big stage one time when it was not really the popular thing to do. And yeah, he lost a buddy to it, and I've lost some friends to it as well. It was really tough for me. I was a leader in some really, you know, difficult military type of units, and I had a guy who was a really good operator. He was really good. He was a star really at what he did, and he came onto my team, and I knew right away that something wasn't right because he was just having a hard time interacting with anybody, and not in just an introvert way. And in my community, we interact because it's all about teamwork. So he would not have normally made it through the screening processes with that type of um, character or interaction type. So I knew it was something not right, and so he was kind of new to my team. I didn't know his character previously, so it was kind of hard for me to judge how bad things were for him. And so I would ask, kind of the younger guys too, because I was a little bit more senior than him. What's the deal with this guy, man? It's like, is he always like this? Was he like this before? And I, try to find out a little bit more about what was going on with him. And he had just come to the team, or actually, he was just kind of getting towards the end of being on the team. So it was new for me, and I tried to develop a little bit of a relationship with the guy, but he was very standoffish, and he was experienced too. He was really good at what he did. He had just returned from Iraq on his previous team, and he gone through a lot on his team. So talking to the guy, I realized something wasn't right, but he wanted to get out of the service at the time, and I was like, this kind of senior guy, and we sit down and we talk about it. And I was one of those guys that if you decided that that's what you wanted to do, I didn't want to try to talk you out of anything, because to have that conversation, usually at that point the decision's already been made. So at that point, I'm just trying to just making sure their transition was good, and you cross their T's and dot their I's, and make sure things run smoothly for them. But I also left the option for maybe stay in, and here's some other options like the reserves or something like that. So I had a conversation with the kid, and he had already made the decision that he was going to get out, and he had his plan. And his plan involved a girl and some situation overseas. And I don't want to say too many details because, out of respect to him and his family. Um, but, I knew something wasn't right, and I tried to guide him not to do that, but he made the decision and he got out. And he went overseas for about, might have been only 3 or 4 months. And then we got news that something really, really bad happened. That he did something that you can't reverse to himself, and he's no longer with us. So, yeah, I've always felt really, really bad about that one. Um, and this wasn't the only time with service members. It's more common than you think, especially ones that have operated. So, yeah, I've always wondered if I could have said something, or maybe changed his mind some way, but it was really hard for me to even have this conversation right now. But that's what I think about when I hear songs like this. And I know people are out there struggling. That's why, like I said, the Better Health link is there. I have no affiliation or sponsorship whatsoever. I just think it's a really good tool for people that don't want to meet somebody, or they just want to take the first step. To have an online therapist is pretty good, and they're the real deal too. So it's not just like a bunch of people don't know what they're doing there. But yeah, this Ren song makes you think deep and makes you realize this guy is just so talented at what he does. I actually like the tempo of this. She was really good. It was very performative, and it was live. It almost feels like it wasn't live. People try to put together a video like this with all the production, and they can't pull it off. That's how you know Ren is really good at what he does. So yeah, I think somebody was saying nobody likes your music to him or something like that. Like they just don't get it. Maybe they just don't have the IQ to comprehend what he's trying to say and what he's trying to do. That could be it. Not everybody's going to understand. But hey, if you are struggling, go ahead and check that link out, or go ahead and drop me a line on on my email, and I'll help whatever way I can. Obviously, I'm not a therapist or anything, but I won't turn my back on you. That's for sure. I appreciate everybody coming back to the podcast. Hit the subscribe if you haven't. If you want to make a song request, I've got the Stand Store. That's a priority for the song requests. I do all of my videos. I premiere my videos live, so I'll be in the chat. That's another way to kind of get your request up to the top. Or in the comments section, I go off the consensus of whatever the fans are saying, based on kind of the direction of the majority. Majority rules in the in the comment section. Unless you're just somebody just like is just on it every time, and I'm like, oh, I gotta check this person, what this person's saying about it. When I first started my Ren music, it was a little bit like, what is this? But I didn't give him a chance to realize that, oh, I'm stumbling onto something really, really good here. And I hope to do some more of his music real soon. But like I said, I don't do them right away because I like to absorb kind of what's going on in his music. It takes a little bit of that. And if you're the type of person that says that's not true, like you get everything the first time, okay, you're the boss. You're the boss. Anyway, we only have one boss right now. Anyway, I'll leave you with one thing here, is that if you do notice that somebody is struggling like that, do your best. Try to take one extra step to help them out. I think that's the advice I can leave you with. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm your boy, the Wolfhound. It's been a pleasure. I'm out.